The history of contraception is a fascinating journey, especially when we consider the item that revolutionized safer sex, the condom. Many people assume this ubiquitous piece of rubber is a recent invention, perhaps a product of the mid-20th century, but its roots stretch back much further than you might imagine. Long before the era of polymers and precise manufacturing, humanity was already experimenting with methods to prevent pregnancy and disease, often relying on natural, readily available materials. These early attempts, while rudimentary by modern standards, highlight a consistent human desire for sexual protection and control. Ancient civilizations across the globe show evidence of these early protective measures. Egyptian texts and cave paintings dating back thousands of years suggest the use of linen sheaths, primarily intended as ceremonial coverings rather than reliable contraception. The Romans and Greeks, known for their elaborate social structures and detailed medical writings, also utilized various forms of coverings. These were often made from animal bladders or intestines, meticulously cleaned and treated to function as physical barriers. While these materials were far from comfortable or consistently effective, they represented the cutting edge of protection for their time. They marked the true beginning of the effort to separate sex from its potential consequences. Moving into the 15th and 16th centuries, the need for effective barrier methods skyrocketed with the spread of devastating sexually transmitted diseases, most notably syphilis, which swept across Europe. This public health crisis provided a strong impetus for innovation in reproductive health. The Italian physician Gabriele Falloppio, famous for describing the fallopian tubes, proposed a linen sheath soaked in a chemical solution to prevent infection. Its design, intended strictly for disease prevention, was one of the earliest documented recommendations for condom use in the medical literature. Falloppio's invention gained traction, demonstrating a shift from purely ceremonial use to practical medical application. Though still crude, these fabric barriers offered a tangible layer of defense against infectious diseases that ravaged entire populations. By the 17th century, the items we now recognize as early condoms began to emerge, often crafted from fine membranes derived from animal intestines. These became widely known as skin or leather sheaths, reflecting their organic origin. These were relatively expensive to produce and were typically reserved for the wealthy or noble classes. They were also designed to be reused after careful cleaning and drying, necessity given their high cost and difficult manufacturing process. One of the most famous purveyors of these early protections was a figure known only as Madame Condom, whose name might have given the device its enduring moniker, though the linguistic origin remains highly debated among historians. Regardless of the naming convention, the product was establishing itself firmly in high society. The transition from animal membranes to more advanced materials was a slow process, but it gained significant momentum with the rise of industrial chemistry in the 19th century. This era brought about a revolution in materials science, setting the stage for the modern prophylactic. The pivotal breakthrough came in 1844 with Charles Goodyear's invention of vulcanized rubber. This process, which treated natural rubber with sulfur and heat, transformed a sticky, temperature-sensitive material into a durable, flexible, and practical substance. Vulcanized rubber was perfect for creating a reliable barrier method that was both thin enough for comfort and strong enough to withstand use. The first mass-produced rubber condom was introduced shortly after, around the 1850s, changing the landscape of contraception forever. These rubber sheaths, though initially quite thick compared to modern versions, were significantly more durable and cheaper than their intestinal predecessors. They allowed for the first truly widespread availability of a protective device. However, the late 19th and early 20th centuries were marked by strong moral opposition, particularly in the United States and Britain. Legislation like the Comstock Act in the U.S. classified contraceptives as obscene materials, severely restricting their advertisement and distribution. Despite these legal and moral hurdles, demand remained high, leading to discreet sales through pharmacists and underground networks. The devices were simply too effective and too crucial to public health to be entirely suppressed. The biggest leap forward came in the 1930s with the refinement of latex, a liquid form of rubber. Latex condoms were thinner, more flexible, and offered superior elasticity and sensitivity compared to the older, thicker, vulcanized versions. The transition to latex allowed for even cheaper and more efficient mass production, making condoms affordable and accessible to nearly everyone. This development truly democratized safe sex practices globally. By the mid-20th century, especially with the sexual revolution and increasing awareness of HIV, AIDS in the late 20th century, the condom cemented its status not just as a contraceptive tool, but as an essential defense against sexually transmitted infections. Modern standards require rigorous testing for strength and reliability, ensuring a product far removed from the primitive linen sheaths of antiquity. From ceremonial wraps and animal intestines to resilient vulcanized rubber and ultra-thin latex, the story of the condom is a testament to human ingenuity and the persistent effort to balance intimacy with responsibility. The ongoing evolution continues to refine materials and design, striving for the perfect balance of pleasure and protection. If you found this exploration of contraceptive history fascinating, and you want to dive deeper into the science and culture of safe relationships and reproduction, make sure you check out more content right here on Sex Education Repo. Don't forget to subscribe and explore our archives for more deep dives into the human experience.